What's up, guys? Chris Flores here, Men Mentoring Men, and today I want to talk about video games. And the reason I want to talk about video games is because the same thing kind of happens every time you play a game, right? So let's say you first get a video game, you're all excited, you put it in to the Xbox or PlayStation, whatever it is you use, and you start playing a game. Well, at first, you kind of suck at the game. So you start off, a lot of games now have a training thing you have to go through, so you go through all your training, and then you start the game, go to level 1. And there's certain challenges in level 1 and certain difficulty level 1. So you get through all that, and let's say if it's back in the day like a Mario or one of those games, you have to face somebody at the end, and you have to overcome this person. And you learn certain things during that struggle. And then you go on to the next level. And level 2 is a little bit harder. You start maneuvering your way through and everything else, and then you have to face someone at the end of that level. You destroy that person, whatever it is. Then you go on to level 3, and so on and so forth, and this pattern continues. Now, what happens through each level, you learn certain skill sets. So once you get to level 3, all of a sudden, magically, level 1 is really easy. But when you first did it, level 1 was difficult to overcome. Same thing when you get to level 5, 6, 7, all of a sudden, level 3 becomes very easy. The point I'm trying to make here is you cannot skip levels. You can't skip steps along the way. And what's happening with us, especially with athletes and in school and everything else, but more importantly for what I see a lot of times with youth athletes, is that they have a certain skill set, a certain skill level, right? And because an athlete may be a little bit more mature, maybe a little older, maybe a little bigger, we skip them through levels. And as we skip them ahead, we kind of shield them, or we deprive them of certain things they have to go through, certain struggles they have to go through in order to build up and get to that next level, so they can fully be able to handle that level that they're on. So we don't give them skill sets, right? We say, all right, that person can score a lot of points. Let's put him on the higher end team. Let's put him on varsity as a little kid. Well, you know what? That kid mentally, emotionally, there's other skills this person hasn't gained. So what? They can do this actual thing. Maybe they can score a lot of points, but maybe their defense is lacking. Maybe other things in their game, they have holes in their game. And as they go to higher levels, these holes become exposed. And the same thing happens when a kid goes from high school to college. If you push them through the high school levels and everything else, and you have, he put up 30 points a game, 40 points a game, kid gets to college and fails. Why? Because we didn't develop other aspects of their game. We pride them on their talent, their one thing they can do, but we didn't talk about their hard work, their work ethic, if they practice hard, their skill sets, other skills besides the one thing we kept praising them for. You know, a lot of people look at the NBA and look at the NFL and look at these pro athletes who get to these levels and fail in life. Why? Because we pushed them through. You pushed them through all these levels and didn't give them the skill set. You know, obviously, if a person's in a pro level, and let's say they have all these females after them now and everyone's trying to get at them, if they didn't go through that college level of dealing with these personal issues, dealing with their personal demons, and then you throw them on a higher level with more money, more fame, more notoriety, what do you think is going to happen to them? They're going to fail at that level as a person. Maybe their skill set's okay as far as their sport, but you've never coached them on anything else. You let those holes in their game get all the way through, and now they got exposed. And now what happens? You gave someone $2 million and they failed because we didn't teach them on the basic levels how to operate, how to maneuver. You know, if you have issues with college girls, you deal with all those issues for 4 years of college. Eventually you get to the pros and you're like, oh, that's that kind of girl. Oh, I know what that is. Or party situations. You went to a couple frat parties and everything. You messed up a little bit on campus and you go, oh, when I make that money, I got to be careful not to do that again. If you skip all that and go right to the pros and give that person the $1 million and give them the females, give them all this, what do you think is going to happen to them? They don't know how to handle it on that level because you went from level 1 to level 10 and you tossed them out there and fed them to the wolves and you expected them to excel. Now, there's always exceptions to the rules and people who are going to be able to operate in those levels, and most of those people have a sound foundation. Maybe they have a strong family foundation. Look at someone like Derek Jeter, someone who operated on a pro level and was kind of like one of those people everyone's aspires to be like, but he had a sound family. You know, one of the things he said, I remember it was a quote where Derek Jeter said he always, when he went out in the world and operated and everything else, he said he always never wanted to disappoint his parents. And that's someone who had such a sound foundation that, you know what, no matter what you threw at them, they weren't going to crack. But look at all the other millions of examples of thousands of people who go up there and fail because they don't have those sound foundations because we skip them through levels. So this goes from life to sports to anything that you're doing. Don't skip the levels. Enjoy the journey. I was listening to Eric Thomas the other day and he said, don't rush the process, trust the process. You have to go through these building blocks, because as you go through them, you develop a skill set, you develop things, so when you get it on that higher level, you'll know how to deal with it, and you know how to operate. So that's my advice for video games. Don't skip your levels. Go through the process. As ET says, don't rush the process, trust the process. Talk to you guys next time.